Hello and happy Tuesday and welcome back to my Batch Lady Tuesday chats. This week, or today should I say, I have been batching up a storm. I am doing lots of PR videos for my new book coming out, so I've been, there's a big list that the publishers have gave me that they want videos for, so I am just videoing back to back to back, basically. It is absolutely non-stop. So far, well, I've actually just done a new video for Pancake Day. These were not in my new book, but new sort of American pancakes. So they're coming out this week, actually. I've done a really nice prawn stir fry that you can make like one for the freezer and one that you cook that night. Really nice. Is this too hot for me to touch? This is, what would I call it? French toast bake, okay? It's blueberry and cinnamon and it's delicious, but it's a good sort of low calorie, low sugar one, so it's good to have. I've made a prawn curry, I've made soup, I've been non-stop. I'm standing here drinking a glass of elderflower, just feeling a bit sort of like, oh, but it's been good actually. Everything's gone to plan, so fingers crossed it all edits well and I'm good to go with that. And look, my husband brought me flowers this week. How nice is that? So it's been a good morning. It's been very exciting as well. Halfway through the doorbell went and big surprise, which I'm going to let you see, I think tomorrow. I'm going to put it out as well. So really exciting, all about new surprises of things coming out. But this week, basically, I want to talk to you about freezer foraging. I said I was going to talk about it in February and we're now on the 8th, so I really feel like we need to just jump into it. So there's some top tips for freezer foraging, okay? As I said last week in one of my posts, one of the things that you want to do, and I'm going to take you out to my freezers in a minute and we'll go out. I'm just going to go and throw a jacket on and take you out there and explain more. But you want to be eating out your freezer in February if you've got a lot in. If you're batching because you're filling it and it's empty, then fair enough. But if you are sitting there, like many of you will be, with a deep freeze full and your other freezer with quite a lot in it, you want to be going through it just now and pulling stuff out and using it. Because if you don't use it at the end of these winter months, this sort of like February, early March, if you've got stuff in there that is winter fare, you know, like stodgy stuff like lasagnas and stews and some soups that maybe are sort of winter root veg orientated, like carrot and parsnip or all those sort of things. If you don't use them now, then by the time you get to March, April, they sort of end up lying there and you think, oh, I'll use them when the weather gets bad. You don't really use them over the nice summer months, which might take you right to October. So you want to be pulling all those things out and thinking, right, let's use them while the weather's bad, because it just now it's snowing outside. It's lovely to have a really warm stew, to have something really hearty and filling in these cold winter months. But come the summer, none of us want to eat that stuff, so you need to get it out your freezer. Let's head out to my freezers. I'll let you see what they look like and I'll give you some more top tips, okay? Right, I've came outside. These are my two big freezers. We've got another freezer here, but it's actually a friend's who's moving house, so we're just storing it for them. My two big freezers are these. If you want to, lots of people always ask about them. They are called Polar and they are like catering freezers. I wouldn't suggest that you need them for your house unless you've got an outside barn or somewhere like that, because they're quite big. But what I like about them is their shelf. The reason I'm not quite opening them just now is they're on a timer. So once you open them, if you close them again, they seal shut for about 20 minutes. So if you are, top tip, if you are wanting to get our freezer and you plan on putting it outside, then you need to be really careful to make sure that it's in a heated area. So you've just seen me walk across the yard. Most of our snow is gone, but we've still got a bit. We did have like a huge amount. But if freezers are outside and they get really cold and it's colder outside than the freezer, it stops working. And I've broken quite a lot of freezers like this. So in this bit of the barn, I've got a freezer around the corner there. I've got a radiator around the corner there that's just set on low, but it's enough that's going to basically keep my freezers going. So you do need to have a think about that, okay? If you're place, like if it's a garage and it usually doesn't get cold, but you end up having a really cold winter, then just get yourself one of these little, I used to have one, I've got one over there, like a little electric heater that you can put on and just sit it beside it. That's all it really needs, is enough just to basically keep it working. Okay, so freezer foraging. Now, I've been writing cookery books, so you can imagine, and I'm the batch lady, I've got a lot in my freezers, okay? So, are you ready? Can you see in here? So it's not too bad, actually. We're sort of eating out of it. It was very neat and tidy. It's gone a bit more sort of skew-whiff. When it's cold and I don't want to come outside because it's snowing, I send a teenager to get whatever we need. And they inevitably can never find anything like that. And they just rake through the whole freezer. Even though I tell them 3rd shelf down on the left, you know, and it's written on the bag. But still, it ends up a bit of a mess. So I just want to talk about freezer foraging. You should have, if you're really into batching, you should have a list of what's in your freezer. But don't worry, don't feel guilty if you don't. Lots of people don't, so don't worry about it. And if you haven't done it in a while and you think I've put stuff in and taken stuff out, don't worry about it. Don't wait to think I'm going to sort my freezer before I start freezer foraging. Just start freezer foraging and your freezer will automatically sort itself because it'll have less in it and you'll be able to just move stuff around. Okay, so just have a look through, see what you've got. Things like veggie meatloaf. That's because my kids aren't fussed for a veggie meatloaf, but I've got 2 of them, so that's probably quite a good thing to eat. I don't mind keeping that so much at the moment because I would have a meatloaf with a big salad next to it, so they could have that. But there'll be things in here that I definitely want to use for this time of year, okay? For instance, what's this? Oh, this is a big stew. It's actually a harissa chicken and tomato stew. So because it's chicken and tomato, it could last into the spring, but it's the type of thing that I probably do want to eat very soon. I know I've got lots of stews and stuff back here in this shelf, so I'll need to go through them. Now, you want to, obviously, like I said, make sure you're eating stuff that's going to be winter food. You also want to make sure you're eating old food, okay? So food in the freezer, sorry about the noise, you're just going to hear that. Food in the freezer does not go off, it just deteriorates in quality. So it's not going to be unsafe for you, it's just not going to be as nice. It might get freezer burn, it might dry out a little bit. So get right to the back and see what you've got and try to use that stuff, okay? If it makes a full meal, fantastic. I want to talk about some of the stuff I've got down here. I'm just going to let you show you and show you what I'm going to do with all these odds and ends that really don't make a meal but are in my freezer. Okay, so very quickly, we'll all have bits in our freezer that look like this, which is you've got a little thing for one person, you know, a ready-made thing. And what the bottom of here is things that I buy that I think, like a spinach and feta pie, and I think, how did they make that? Oh, how did they make that? I'll buy it and I'll sort of take it apart and see what it's like, maybe make a recipe like it. And I've got lots of things like this. I've also got lots of stuff that Bird's Eye sent me. And this is not an ad, I'm just telling you they sent me. They sent me a load of meat-free burgers and stuff that, there's quite a lot of stuff that we just generally wouldn't usually eat, but actually freezer forage. I could take these, I could cut them up, I could put them over the top of a salad, I could put a nice dressing over it, I'm sure they'd be fine. One night, I've got about 4 of these different individual pies back here. I might just cook them all up and everybody has a pie and I put some potatoes with it or a baked potato or something. So get going into all the rubbish that you think I don't have enough to make a whole family meal. Make everybody separate for one night. Just a lot of these things can just get shoved in the oven and they're sort of like ready-made type things. They can just get shoved in and just have a bit of a freezer forage supper, I would say. Get in there, get amongst it. Things like this. This was some extra red cabbage that I made. When are you going to use red cabbage? It'll go perfectly with a winter meal just now, so it's a great thing to use. So I'm going to keep this out and use it as well. That's all from me in terms of freezer foraging. Get in there, get using this stuff. Come March, we're going to be making sure our freezers are tidy. We're going to be tidying them out and we're going to be talking about healthy recipes that we can start to use, because I don't know about you, but this lockdown, I'm just living in sort of like stretchy comfort pants and I'm a bit worried about getting back to normal clothes. I'm looking forward to normal life starting. I'm not looking forward to taking my bod into normal life starting. So I'm going to be going through lots of healthy options. So let's get all the big winter food out. I hope you have a lovely day today. Lots more coming up. I've got Pancake Day. I've got the unveiling of my new surprise. And I hope you have a lovely week. I am on top form. I hope you are. No homeschooling this week because it's half term, which is great. I'm literally leaving the kids to do as they please and run about the farm. Yeah, top form this week. Get in touch if there's anything I can help you with. Take care. Bye.